Hello there everyone, how you doing today? I hope you're all well. Today we're going back into r/entitled parents now that my eyes are recovered enough that I can read stories for you all again. Eye infections are no joke, I promise you. And in today's stories we have mothers who cannot take no for an answer, among other things. If you enjoy that kind of thing, remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and let's get started, shall we? My mom signed me up for prom as someone's Make-A-Wish date. This still makes my blood boil, and it happened back in my senior year. I, an 18 female, was born with a pretty visible birthmark across half my face, and had multiple surgeries to help. But the scars remain. I've also been deaf since birth. Despite that, I'm pretty confident and had a few close friends. Well, I decided not to go to prom because it wasn't my scene, and I wanted to save money. Prom's expensive, you know what I mean? 1 week before prom, my mom sat me down smiling ear to ear and said she's got me a date in like a sing-song kind of voice. She had signed me up to go with a boy in our town who was recovering from leukemia. I didn't even know him. His mom and mine are apparently friends and agreed it would be so sweet if we went together. They even posted a photo collage of us online, like it was some rom-com. I called her out immediately and she said, "I just thought this would be your only chance to go to prom." And I said, "Why? Because I'm deaf and have scars?" And well, she didn't answer that, obviously. I canceled everything. I didn't go. And the worst part? That poor boy thought I had set it up. He apologized for my mom's behavior when he found out. My mom still tries to frame it like, "I missed out on a beautiful moment." I dodged a manipulative nightmare. Oh, that's absolutely disgusting. I'm sorry you had to go through that, OP. Also, before we go to the next story, I want to take my coat off and take out a nice book to read our stories from. Doesn't that sound wonderful? An entitled parent wants my art project. Writing this with one hand at 9 p.m. since I burned my hand when handling hot glue, and it got my middle finger and thumb, so sorry in advance for any spelling errors or confusing words. I also have autism. Hey, narrator's autism too! Autism gang! And I get jumbly in my words when I'm stressed, hyper, or tired. So I, 24 non-binary, work at a gallery for people with physical and mental disabilities to do art and sell said art. It's fun and I love it and I get along with everyone. And I go out about twice a week and focus on my other job the rest of the week. Every morning before I go into the gallery, I head into the cafe, just the same area, order a coffee and maybe a breakfast. Sit in a booth and work on something simple, whether that's sketching or writing. I have autism, so it's good to know I have a routine like this. From another autistic person, routines are worth their weight in gold if they were a fat man. That doesn't make sense, and I don't care. Today started normal. I walked in, ordered my coffee, some pancakes, and got a booth to sit at. In the gallery, I'm working in a project with another group from a different program, where you have to build your dream home with a cardboard shell. It's a lot more fun than I assumed, and with permission, I managed to get some mini furniture to put in with me in a bag so I can work on it. I'm sitting there writing on my laptop, sipping my latte, and just chilling with the cafe's vibe as people started to slowly trickle in for the breakfast rush, and I was eyeing the time when the gallery opens. And then walks in the entitled parent of the story with a little girl, maybe 8 or so. I didn't pay much attention to them because they just looked like normal mother-daughter duo. They just sat at a booth after ordering and I paid them no mind. That was until the little girl piped up about the briefcase keychain charm, which was a little dog day from Poppy's playtime. Boyfriend made me recently. I thanked her for the compliment, and she was happy chatting with me about how she likes Poppy playtime. I thought, a bit young for the game, but alright, and didn't say much. And then her eyes locked onto my bag with my mini furniture. The little girl pointed and yelled and going, "Look, Mom, it's a little toaster!" There was, indeed, a little toaster. The mom looked up from her phone and looked to my bag. She then asked me where I got them, to which I simply answered Amazon. The pair's food arrived and we stopped talking for a while. I continued my writing and breakfast, minding my own business. After a while, the entitled mom spoke up again.
"Hey, can you give it to my daughter?"
Now, at first, I thought she meant my keychain or pancakes, since I did hear the girl say her pancakes weren't chocolate chip, so I just said,
"My daughter's birthday was Wednesday, and it would be so nice if you could give her a gift."
I blinked, confused. I don't know this girl or her mom, so why would I give her a gift? Also, we're at a cafe, so it's a weird place to ask. I'm sorry, but I don't know your daughter, but happy birthday."
"Oh, I know. I'm a single mother, and it's been hard to get by. And my daughter would really love to have your dollhouse."
Again, I'm sorry, but I can't do that. This is for my work, but they were really cheap on Amazon. The entitled mom got huffy and started breathing fast as if she ran a marathon. And then she started to yell at me inside the cafe, still in public mind you, about how I'm ruining her daughter's birthday, about
"How dare you with who would ever deny a little girl's birthday present?"
and just wailing about how I'm a heartless monster and how I'm going to hell. I don't believe in hell, but to each their own. Meanwhile, the poor girl is just sitting there, quiet, staring at her mom confused. A few times she glanced at me with an apologetic look, which honestly broke my heart. The owner walked over and asked what the problem was, and then the entitled mom started to claim that she bought the bag of mini furniture and how I took it and I'm refusing to give it back. The owner, who I know pretty well since I've been coming here for a year now, to the point that he readily makes my latte when he sees me come in, just stared at EM, then at me, and then back at EM and says, "Ma'am, I took her order before you even came in. I saw it, she brought it in with her." Entitled mom's face turns a weird reddish purple, and she slammed some 20s on the table, grabbed her daughter, and hurried off. The owner then asked if I was okay, and left after I said I was. New lesson learned: never bring art projects that isn't my iPad or sketchbook to the cafe. Actually, small correction to your life lesson, OP, if I may. Don't bring an iPad ever. There are entitled people who will demand the iPad too. You know, that $500 piece of equipment you got? They're so shameless, they'll demand that for their child. You're pretty screwed no matter what you take with you, honestly. Based on some other posts I've read in the past, OP. Oh, this is a commenter saying the same thing I said. I'd even be careful with an iPad or sketchbook. Karens be crazy if they see something they want. Exactly, dear commenter. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Anyways, on to the next story. A neglectful dad is mad at me because his daughter ran into me with her bike. This afternoon, I was riding on a cycle path in my town when I found this kid in front of me. I was in a bit of a hurry and she was pretty slow, so I decided to overtake her. Obviously, I wasn't speeding or anything, I just had restarted after stopping, and was approaching some poles which you need to slow down in order to avoid. Also, I'm no professional cyclist and my bike is pretty heavy, but this is where I could have possibly screwed up. For the whole time she was in front of me, she stayed in the right lane of the cycle path. And this led me to believe that I could have overtaken her simply going to the left lane without ringing my bell. Apparently, I was wrong, because the moment I was next to her while overtaking her, she randomly got to the left lane and hit me with her bike, which made us both fall. The moment I realized we fell, I immediately asked her multiple times if she was fine. She didn't answer, and the first thing she did was calling out for her dad. The dad, who wasn't around to see anything about the situation, randomly appeared on a moped at the end of the cycle path and immediately started laying into me, going on and on about how much of an idiot I am for being such a danger on the public road. Now, I don't blame him for this. Your kid just got hurt, and you don't know how it happened, so you're obviously not going to be perfectly calm. But it's how he acted later that made me decide to post this story here. He wanted to get the police involved and asked his daughter, who was crying but standing up no problem, if she needed an ambulance, which I find kind of an overreaction, to be honest. I'm not an expert in these sort of situations, so He then asked me for an ID, but he refused to accept the one I gave to him. It even had all the ID he asked me for. So I asked my mom to come with my ID and help with handling the situation. The moment he was sure that his daughter was fine, he instantly became way more worried about money and the bike than caring for his kid, and he left the both of us to be taken care of by a poor bystander, who was kind enough to give us first aid. The rest of the story is pretty tame. My mom showed up with my ID, settled things with him with insurance and everything, and they left. The kid was fine, she just had some scratches on her back and was scared by the whole thing. Her bike also didn't have any problems. The basket's just a bit off to the side and has a couple of scratches, even though the dad said I destroyed it when I put him on the phone with my mom, Lamau. I've taken a bit more damage as I have a scraped knee, a bunch of scratches on my left arm, and my bike probably needs some fixings and replacements now. Also, my phone is bent in a weird way, and it was in my pocket when I fell, but it still works just fine. I needed to change it soon anyways. It's unlikely that anything will happen to me because the bystander told me and my mom that he clearly saw the kid running into me while the dad wasn't around to supervise her, so I'm not really worried about that anymore. While I obviously feel bad for the kid, I do think about that whole thing really isn't a big deal. I mean, kids do dumb stuff all the time, and I should have been a bit more careful, but the dad totally rubbed me the wrong way. He really seemed more worried about getting compensation than actually being interested in how his daughter was doing. And when the whole thing ended, he still asked her if she felt good enough to bike back home, instead of driving her or something. Also, she kept swearing in front of him, which, even if she was tense, I had said those words in front of my parents at her age. A bike fall would have been the least of my problems. So yeah, sorry for my rant, but what was up with that dad, lol? I'll keep you updated if anything else happens. Update. The dad just called my mom, and even though both me and the witness clearly saw the kid going left while I was passing her, and didn't see anything about the ordeal, he refuses to believe that his daughter could have possibly done anything that could have led to the accident, and is already convinced that I'm just some kind of psycho supervillain who likes to run into kids on his bike in his free time. He's still trying to escalate the situation, but my mom held him back and told him to wait and get some updates on the damage to the bicycles before trying to do anything else. That dad sounds like a piece of work. You're right to call him out for prioritizing material concerns over his daughter's well-being. It's clear that you took responsibility and had your mom help to resolve the situation. The dad's behavior, from refusing your ID to questioning his daughter's ability to bike home, raises some red flags about his priorities. Good on you for handling it calmly and seeking advice. On to the last story of the day. My entitled mom is decided to cut me off because of a wedding. So this is kind of long, but I'll provide enough context to make the story. For a few details, I did a couple of post-venting about my situation a couple of weeks ago. But not on this subreddit. Ages and genders are hidden in this post to remain anonymous in case someone in my family finds this post. My uncle got married, and way before that I asked him if I could bring my partner to the wedding, and his wife was okay with it. But my mom was against it, saying she was the only family event, and then changing the reason every time the topic came out, mainly because she's homophobic and couldn't keep a good reason to exclude my partner without being homophobic. It was stressing me and making me very annoyed, and I decided that me and my partner wouldn't stay at her place during the wedding. I live at another city for college, and I informed my uncle, my mom, my dad, and another uncle about my plan, and that it was fine until a week before the wedding. My mom asked me when my partner arrived to her home. I remembered her that we wouldn't be staying with her, and already had arrangements for our stay. She was furious, saying I was
destroying our family,
and that
I didn't have any right to make that decision for my life, while she was paying for my college.
I got angry and said I did this because I needed space from her, and that the way she was acting was the main reason why I needed space. Then she said that I wanted to be so independent from her, then so be it, and she'll no longer fund my college. After the wedding, when I came back to the city, I talked to my college counselor and my career coordinator to inform them about the situation. They were empathetic, and we came out with a plan in case my mom was serious about it. I asked her in a very serious tone if she meant it, if something she said in the heat of the moment. She didn't answer and said that if I really wanted to answer, I should talk to my dad, and he have to check out that I wasn't mentally stable enough to continue funding my education. My parents are divorced, but my dad has always acted like a mediator in important decisions, because me and my mom don't get along. So when she suggested that it wouldn't resolve anything, it's like a cycle. There's a stupid fight, my mom threatens me with something, I have to talk to my dad, she acted like nothing happens, and rinse and repeat. This time was my breaking point. Dealing with her like this always stresses me out, and had even affected my grades. So I talked to my college counselor and my career coordinator to discuss more about the plan. I can't pay rent and college while living in this city, so I'll move with my partner to live in the same city, and move to online classes for the rest of my career. My career coordinator will help me get a scholarship to cover part of my college fees. I also find scholarships on large business and government programs to pay for college. I talked to my dad about it, and he seemed concerned about it, and asked me if I was sure about this. I told him how tense my relationship with my mom was, and how I couldn't trust my future in the hands of someone that behaves like that, and relying on someone that threatens to take my future away for every and any petty reason. That's not someone I can depend on. He agreed and asked me how much he can help me. I told him that I just need some help he has been giving me since I moved from college. He sends me money to pay rent, and I will use the same amount to spend on rent, groceries, and any doctor's appointments and medicine I might need. My dad said it was okay and he will still send the same amount. My college fees for the semester were already paid before the wedding, so I just have to get good grades and not fail. After I move out with my partner, I'm going to go low contact with her, inform her that she doesn't have to pay any college fee from now on, and that I don't want to be near her until she goes to therapy. I don't have any hopes that she will change, but the main reason I will remain in contact with her is because she pays my phone bills. She wouldn't like it, but will hate not being able to contact me in any way. Those are the only things she has taught me when I was living with her. Hide anything and seek any weaknesses on anyone you know how to manipulate into your own favor. I know this is entitled from me, but it's some way I can still communicate with my dad. I don't want him to cover for me more than he already is giving me, but being the reason why I want to pay my phone bills. Maybe in a year I could pay it by myself. My mom is the only one that is not aware of this. I plan to cut her off after I graduated college, but seeing how she threatened me this time, I'll go low contact with her. I had a plan before, but threatening my future over not staying with her during my uncle's wedding is so absurdly ridiculous. But not the first time she felt entitled over me. She has pulled similar moves in the past, but nothing as serious as this. I'm glad your dad's willing to help you. With a mom like her, student loans are way better than begging for any sort of help. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you all enjoyed the stories I had for you. If you did, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you watched the entire video, that would have done a lot to help with the algorithm. I will see you all next time. Bye bye.